Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the UnCommon podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Foltz, and in today's episode, I will be discussing an article by Yahoo Finance about Elon Musk, of all people, and why a lot of times people will see these guys that make a lot of money and will immediately critique them for the amount of money that they make. But as you'll see in this article, people don't really know how economics and business works, and so I now have to do a video about it because people don't get taught these basic things in school. So without further ado, the title of this column is "Thank You, Elon Musk. You've just proved why a billionaire's tax is essential." This article is written by Michael Hilzitz, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, on yesterday, November 8th. And it's a very, very interesting article, to say the least, because the basis of this article is this guy is kind of complaining that Elon Musk makes too much money, and he thinks Elon Musk should pay, well, not just Elon Musk, but billionaires in general should pay an extra tax for being billionaires to help, I don't know, I guess we'll figure out in this article. Alright, so article starts out, thanks to Elon Musk, who is often credited as the world's richest person, we now have a good clue whether or not someone has too much money. That clue is when he turns tax policy into a Twitter game. Musk on Saturday responded to a proposal to impose a tax on billionaires' wealth by launching a poll on Twitter asking followers if he should sell 10% of his shares in his electric vehicle company Tesla. He pledged to abide by the results of this poll, whichever way it goes. There's a quote here by a Democratic Senator, Ron Wyden from Oregon, who says whether or not the world's richest man pays any taxes at all shouldn't depend on the results of a Twitter poll, and nor should it depend on what this senator wants him to do either. Just based on that little bit that I've read, I mean, Elon Musk has made the money. Elon Musk, if he wants to sell 50% of his company, that's his business. I don't really care. I don't think he has too much money. I mean, it's a lot of money, but I mean, what's it to me what he or someone else, well, what he wants to spend his money on. It is funny. Senator Ron Wyden wants control of Elon Musk's money. I mean, maybe not directly, but that's taxes are going to the government of which he is a part, and he will be able to allocate that spending to whatever he feels like it should go to. But don't you think that Elon Musk is a better steward of that money, since it's actually his money? If he wants to sell 10% of his stock in Tesla and then donate that to charity or to whatever, that's his business. I don't understand why people think that because he has a lot of money, they should be entitled to tell him how to spend it. You didn't help him earn that money. You're only coming in the ninth hour and saying, wait a minute, that's too much. We should do something about that. It is funny that what this senator is not saying is just as telling as what he is saying. He's not saying, hey, we should decrease the taxes from other people because they're not going to do that. The only way this works is if there's a big bad scary rich guy that you can take all the money from because they've got loads of money, and what's it to them if a couple billion goes to whatever government spending he thinks it should go to. It's not that big of a deal to him. But here's the issue is, it's, as I've already said, it's his money. If he gets out of paying taxes and it's legal, then more power to him. And you know how I know most people would agree with that, even though they probably wouldn't say that, because if most people could find a way to get around paying more taxes, guess what? They're going to take it every single time. I don't care who it is. So moving on. Let me see. And it goes on to talk about all the different his numbers as far as what kind of things he owns and in the company and whatnot. Let me see if I can find it, because there was an interesting paragraph that I read. All right, here we go. More than this is about a quarter of the way through this article. More than 88 million of his shares. Let me see if it gives me the number. Maybe 88 million is the shares. More than 88 million of those shares are pledged as collateral on debts Musk has accumulated, according to Tesla's 2021 proxy statement. That's included how the ultra wealthy avoid paying more than the pittance of their tax on their wealth. They borrow against it to cover living expenses. Loans like these aren't reportable as taxable income, so it's free and clear. Rich stockholders can wait to sell until conditions are more advantageous. So basically, all this whole thing got started because I think it was someone from the UN was floating the idea about having a tax on all the billionaires, whatever percent that was. Also, another part of the story is the capital gains tax that side note real quick, this paragraph was kind of crazy to me, because a normal person would not be okay with this, but because he's worth billions of dollars, it's fine. All right, at current prices, Musk's gain on the exercise would come out to more than $200 billion, or I'm sorry, $20 billion. At the top federal and California income tax rates, or 54.1%, he would owe $11 billion, selling 10% of even 170.5 million shares he has on hand right now, pre-exercise, would bring him to more than $20 billion, more than enough to cover the looming tax bill, and perhaps even to pay down some of his existing debt. So basically, the issue is capital gains tax. So essentially, what capital gains is all right. So let's say you take this pen right here, right? It's a nice pen. Let's say this pen costs $1. I mean, I'm sorry, you paid $1 for this pen, so it cost you $1. Let's say in 5 years, this same pen that you paid $1 for is now worth $5. So you sell it for $5. You've made $4 off of this pen. And what the government wants to do is come in and say, hey, well, okay, let's all right. So this pen, you bought this pen at $1. In a year, this pen, the value of this pen is increased to $5. So you have capital gains of $4. Now you don't have $5, but um, what if there's a capital gains tax? I'm sorry. You will pay money on not the dollar that you spent on this pen, but you'll pay taxes on the $4 that you've accumulated because that is the worth of this pen right now. You don't have $5 because you haven't sold this pen for $5. It's only cost you $1. You're only in the hole $1 for this pen. They want to tax you while you still have that asset or this pen before you've realized the $5 or the $4 increase that you've gained before you've had it. Now, let's say, all right, this pen is worth, so now this pen is worth $5, right? And they want you to pay taxes on that even though you haven't sold this pen, so you haven't actually gotten the $5 back. So let's say 5 more years down the road, this pen is now worth 50 cents. You're not getting that money back that you've paid in taxes, obviously, because it's the government. They're not going to give you money back after you've already given it to them. So that's essentially how this works, except for, that's a very simplified version of it. But the issue is if you're selling a house and you sold it for more than you bought it, when you sell it, they want to tax you on that money. I don't know about you, but that does not seem like a very smart thing to do if you care about all the things that you say you care about. You care about, so if you're, let's say you're a minority and you bought this house, $100,000 house, you put some work into it. Now your house is worth $150,000 and you go to sell it. You're like, man, I made $50,000 on this house. I get to keep that. No, you don't. You wouldn't get to keep. If there's a capital gains tax, you wouldn't keep all that. You would be taxed on some of that. Why? I don't know, because you want to talk about generational wealth, and you want to tax people who are who are making good financial decisions. If you buy something at $100,000 and you sell it at $150,000, that's really good. So I don't understand why you would do that, because the trickle down effect of this is catastrophic to some people. Maybe Elon Musk can handle that, but what about your average Joe, everyday American who is just trying to get a little bit ahead to afford the next house or something that they really want, or their kids' education? What about that? What about that person? You're not doing anything to help them out. You just want to take it from someone who's already made the money and then spend that. But you're not. You don't cut taxes for people who actually need the taxes cut. You want to help people. If you're really in the business of helping people, what would be better than giving them $1,200 or $1,400? How about not making them pay taxes on overtime? How about that? How about you reward people who work more than 40 hours a week? That's a simple solution that would help a lot of people. Right now, maybe not right this second, but that is something that you could pass that people would be like, wow, this is great. I got a little bit of extra money. But no, you can't do that, because I mean, I don't know why you can't do that, because that makes sense and it sounds good. I mean, I would love that if if the government said, hey, we'll tax you on the 40 hours, but anything over that you get to keep. Guess what? Now I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna work more because I'm gonna make more. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you want to fix your supply chain shortage right now, especially right now before the holidays. Why not? I mean, why not incentivize people to work and give them I mean, good incentives to show up and to work hard. I mean, that's I I, I don't know why you wouldn't why anyone who says they're for the people would not be for that. Other than the fact that they don't know what they're talking about. That's the only thing that you can think of. Either that, or they're purposely doing it to keep a lot of people down, which is, I mean, which is very likely what is happening. We can't have people being independent and doing things on their own because then they don't need us. So uh, I mean, I don't take. I mean, percentage wise, don't take more from Elon Musk than you would take from from any other person. I mean, a flat tax rate is, I mean, makes sense because proportionally you're getting the same amount from everyone. But that doesn't that doesn't sit well with people because then who's the bad guy? Them. I mean, you would essentially be the bad guy because you. I mean, right now the bad guy is the rich people. But what people don't want to admit is the rich people are the ones who kind of got the ball rolling in that they created a product or service that people wanted to buy on the small scale, and then it grew into what it is today. So I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And I saw uh, a few months ago this guy um, who 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 was the owner of the business, and he said, you know what, I don't want to make any more than my employees because they work hard and they do so much for me. And he basically said, everyone, I'm gonna have um, the same salary as all the other employees. I'm gonna cut my salary, and I'm gonna do all this good stuff for my employees with the money that I get. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that. That's his business. I mean, great. That's great. You want to take care of your employees and you want to do that, but to to try to force that on other people to do is not right. So I mean, a lot. I mean, a lot of people say, "Wow, that's wonderful." I wish I worked for someone who would do that for me. That's so great. And so then what happens is the government come in. Yeah, you know what? That is great. We're gonna have all, everyone's gonna make the same, whatever your position, and that's not how it works. That's not. I mean, that's not how it's supposed to work because the owner of the business is the one that's incurring the risk of the business. Um, if like if you're if you're a regular employee doing whatever, and the numbers are down, and the company's in the hole, guess what? You're still going to get the paycheck when the owner is may not be seeing that money. So I mean, I completely understand that there's a hierarchy of, you know generally there is, when it comes to how businesses run. And I mean, each business can do whatever they want. If the business says, hey, everyone's gonna make the same. I don't care if you're the CEO or the janitor. We're all making the same amount. That's fine. That's their business. If someone says, hey, I'm gonna pay you $10 an hour, and the COO is gonna make $150,000 an hour. I mean, a year. I don't have a problem with that either, because it's. I mean, the wages and the money is negotiated on a per person um, level. So both parties are going to agree to whatever the terms are that you work. So I mean, if you say, hey, I think I'm worth $5 an hour, and they say, well, I think you're only worth $3, and then you say 4, and they say deal, you're making $4 an hour. If somebody else comes in and says, I think I'm 10, and now he's making $8 an hour. Guess what? You both agreed to whatever the terms were for you to show up. So, I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, don't blame the employer, because nobody's really making you work this job or that job. You have the ability to say, no, that's okay. I'll go look elsewhere. That's how the capitalist system works. I don't want I don't want any more money taken from Elon Musk than I would for myself. I mean, he's making money, and good for him. He can do whatever he wants with his money. If he wants to go and you know blow it on, I don't know, 1,000 Lamborghinis or 20 mansions, I don't have a problem with that at all. Um, I obviously am not making making near what Elon Musk is making, and you know what, the position that I'm in doesn't doesn't really pay $6 billion a year. So you know, but it is what it is. I'm not saying it should. I'm just saying, that is the reality of life, and different jobs are valued at different things, and and a lot of people just need to understand that if you're not happy, talk to whoever, or just quit and go find another job that will pay you whatever you want or give you whatever you're looking for. It's that simple. Either shut up and work, or quit and do something else. That's the option. There's the only two options. It's capitalism. That's what it is. There's some winners and there's some losers, and a lot of times people who are at the top will absolutely help out people who are at the bottom. Not maybe not all the time, but if Elon Musk wants to donate, you know whatever however much money and food to help feed homeless people, that's I mean I'm sure he does probably give a lot away to charity and whatnot. So but anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.